again. Well, it's Saturday again and I need to do my lunch again. So yeah, it's that time of the day that I dread. As I said to you before, it's not one of my fun things to do in life, but yes, alas, we have to eat, all of us, and where I live I don't have much a way to bring my lunch home, and it's me and my mom. So I'm going to do a little bit of a variation of what I did last time. And last time I did, I think it was something like caldeirada. And today I'm going to do a variation of a typical alentejano dish that is a sorda or migas. But I'm going to do my own rendition of that because, well, I wasn't very keen to go shopping and I didn't go buy groceries, so I'm going to do my lunch with stuff that I have here around my kitchen and my fridge. So yeah, it's going to be a very fun thing to do, and curious to see how I'm going to pull this off. So what I'm going to show you now is my ingredients that I found, and let's begin. So let's see what I have. So here we are, a little closer to the stove, and as again, I think you're going to be a little tired of this because it's always the same thing but with little differences. And I still have my pot, my trusty pot, because you know how I like to wash dishes and do the the work here in the sink after. Yes, it's a fun thing to do, and I avoid that to the fullest. And if I can use just one pot, I will use just one pot. And this is my trusty pot because this thing can last 2-3 days, and I'm going to show you my ingredients. So hello. So these are my ingredients, the things that I found here in my kitchen. I wanted to do something with chickpeas, and I looked around my dispensa, my cupboards, and I didn't find any chickpeas. I had the black eyed peas, I had beans and white beans and black beans and all sorts of color beans, but I didn't have chickpeas, and I love chickpeas. And I went to my neighbor, and my neighbor is my sister Sonia, and I was, oh, do you have chickpeas? I want to do something with chickpeas. And she had one can of chickpeas, and yes, she was my savior. If she didn't have chickpeas, I would do with other stuff that I had there. So I have here, I'm going to show you, I have here cauliflower. That is from Sonia's also. So my chickpeas here, and my trustworthy carrots that I love so much. I love carrots. I would eat this, and yeah. So I have also my bay leaves and oregon, and also obviously my trustworthy olive oil that is so wonderful. You know that Portuguese olive oils always win prizes in international competitions, and I think it was this week, that we already won other prizes in the United States, where I don't know, and in Japan also. So our olive oil is very good and internationally recognized as one of the best in the world. So yeah, this one is from our own farm. And I have also here 2 eggs because I'm going to poach some eggs in my migas or in my assorda. It's going to be a mix of migas and assorda. And I also have here my spinach. I love spinach, as you know. And I had some mushrooms, and I'm going to cut them in little pieces because my mom doesn't like very much mushrooms. And I have the main ingredient for my migas or assorda, that is bread, because here in Alentejo, one thing that is very typical of Alentejo is the bread. Alentejano bread is a brand that you can only find here in Alentejo, because it's because Alentejo has plains, lots of plains. It's a very plain part of the country, and we have here cereal plantations, large areas of cereal plantation, but wheat, mainly wheat, I think, and they make here in ovens, traditional ovens. They make bread, and this bread is awesome. Unfortunately, because I love bread and it's very fattening, but I love this bread. And the migas and the assorda are mainly made of bread. So I'm going to use Alentejano bread to make my dish today. So let's start. Let's see the process. So see you in a little bit. Are we ready? No. Yes, we must be ready. So let's start. So, beginning with some garlic that is already grinded. So yeah, in migas and in assorda, I love the taste of garlic because I think it's good. One thing that they have traditional here in Alentejo, in all of the dishes, it's coriander. I think it's coriander. And parsley, that I hate. I don't like the taste, and it's very saddening to me because every dish here has that. They also have a soup that is coriander soup, and yeah, you know what I'm thinking, that I don't like. So I'm going to not use that. I'm going to just use the herbs that I like, because this dish is for me and for my mom. I'm going to pour in my olive oil. And I'm going to put this here just to simmer a little bit. So I'm also going to use my broth in cubes and my seasoning of meat in powder, just to give it a little taste of meat, despite that it doesn't have any meat, but it's going to be all not vegetarian, all because of the eggs, but it's going to be very vegetarian. So I'm going to put 2 of these cubes from Knorr. The flavor is meat. 1, 2, yep. Now I'm going to prepare my carrots. So I have my carrots here, and I'm going to chop it in little pieces. Now I'm going to prepare my mushrooms, and I'm going to cut them into 2 little pieces. Now I'm going to join my spinach, because I love spinach. That's why, just because. Spinach, all the way spinach. And as I said last time, they are going to shrink a little. So just give them a little stir, let them cook, and they are going to be reduced to nothing. I'm going to put a little bit of oregano. And I'm going to put a little bit of my bay leaves in powder. And I'm going to put a little bit of cauliflower, the part of the flower, because I love cauliflower. Just to give it a little bit of, like a puree. My sister Sonia, she does cauliflower like rice. It's a substitute of rice, and she tried it once and she loved it. So now she's trying to take the rice, because she's trying to go on a diet, and rice can be a little fattening, and the dietist, the doctor said that she should cut on the rice. Unfortunately, because we love rice. It's so sad, but it's okay. And she found out that the cauliflower could be a good substitute for rice. I'm going to let this cook a little bit. I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil just to give it that taste of Alentejo and Portugal. It's very similar to what I did the last time, but it's also a little different. So now I'm going to join my chickpeas with water and everything. I usually, I do not throw away the water and everything that comes with the canned stuff, because it has, you know, a taste that always goes well in our meal. So I pour everything in like this. Now I'm going to let it stay here for a minute and rest, like this. Then I'm going to pour a little water, and then I'm going to put a little milk, because I forgot to tell you about the milk, but I think everything that I do has milk. I love putting milk. This is soy milk, but Asim asked me if it could be any kind of milk, and I think yes, you can put every kind of milk that you want, even if you want to put coconut milk that most dishes now have, or cow milk, or almond milk. My sister Sonia, she prefers almond milk, or rice milk also. It's also good. So yeah. So I'm going to just bump the flames a little higher, the fire just a little higher, so this can cook a little bit. Because of the cauliflower, it's a little hard, and the carrots. And when it's boiling, I'm going to join the milk, and then I'm going to put the bread. And the bread should be very hard, you know, very hard, and bread from 2-3 days. Do not throw it away. We usually, when I have a little bread that's left and it's starting to get a little hard and nobody wants that bread, I put it in a bag, and then I put it in the fridge, and then I can do my migas or my sorda. Well, it's starting to, you know, like simmer a little bit. I'm going to just put it here a little bit so you can see. You see? Starting to simmer, so I'm going to join the milk. It has to have lots of water, or milk if you like. I love milk, but everyone puts water here because it has to soak the bread. It's like a soup, do you see? But it has to soak the bread. I'm going to taste it because I think it's lost the spiciness. It's sweet. It's because of the milk, but I'm going to put a little bit of this seasoning. It's tempero de carne from Knorr. It already has, you know, salt, so I'm not going to put salt in this. I'm going to let it into a boil point just to see the bubbles. So now it's boiling. As you see, it looks like a soup, and I'm going to let it just stay here and boil a little bit, and I'm going to cut my bread in not very little pieces, just little chunks, you know, so they don't shred apart when they are going to be tossed in this soup. So I'm going to cut the bread in big pieces, and then sometimes they migas. There is a dish that is called sopas de grão. It's a chickpea soup, and they put the bread like this, you know, like sliced in the soup like this. I'm not going to put the whole bread here because I'm not going to make a chickpea soup. It's like a chickpea soup, and I'm going to make a mixture of chickpea soup and a sorda. A sorda, it's the bread in a mush, in a pulp, like a puree of bread, but I'm not going to do this. I'm going to cut the bread in big pieces and I'm going to put them here, and then I'm going to poach 2 eggs there, and then it's going to be perfect. So yeah, just let me cut the bread. So I have here my bread already sliced. It was a little difficult to slice the bread because it was hard, but thankfully I have my trusty bread knife, so yes, I was able to. Do you see? Big chunks, because this is going to soak here beautifully. That's why we need lots and lots of broth. So I'm going to put the bread here and the bread, and I'm going to let it soak the water and the broth. And if you like, you could put more bread. I'm not going to put more bread because sometimes I like to eat also with bread. So I'm going to let it simmer here for a bit, and then I'm going to poach the eggs. So I'm going to make here a little hole with my spoon here, and I'm going to crack the egg here. Yes, hole in one. Then I'm going to cover it up, and then I'm going to open another hole here, and with my knife all like this and like that, and yeah, like that, cover it up, and it's done. So now I'm going to wait till this is ready. I'm going to wait a little bit because I do not mind my eggs well done. And yeah, then it's lunchtime. So see you at lunchtime. So it's a beautiful day here today in Portugal, Alentejo. Oh my God, so much sun. The houses here are all very white and the sun reflects it in the walls, and it's very, ooh. You know, we need sunglasses, but yeah, beautiful, beautiful day in May, very hot, and I'm going to have a beautiful lunch with my mom and with my surda. So let's see, what do we have here, and what do you think? What do you think it's going to look well? It's starting to look very good. So see you in a little bit. Well, so I think everything is ready. I'm starting to see that everything is cooked now. So I think it's time to take this out of the stove. Look at this. And put it on the table. And let's do a taste test, because I think my mom's, everything is good to her, but I need to see if this is like I was planning in my head, because I'm going to wing it through the whole process, and sometimes I think my head has a vision of what it's going to become, and in the end it does not end like that. So I'm going to see if this is good, and yeah, let's eat and have our lunch, because it's almost lunchtime. It's 5 to 1 p.m. or as we say here in Portugal is 12:55. It's going to be 13 hours. And my mom and I, we always, in the weekends, we have lunch around 12, so, or noon. And because my mom has a very strict diet and routine in eating, and today was a very different day because I had to do this, and it took me a little time more than I usually have when I do stuff like this. So let's go and eat. Okay, let's go. Okay. So let's see if this is good. Vamos ver se isto está bom. É tipo uma açorda, meia migas, meia sopas de grão. Portanto, vamos lá ver se isto estará bom. Let's taste it. Have a taste test. I don't recall where I put my eggs. Eu pus para aqui 2 ovos, mas agora não sei onde é que eles estão enfiados. Bem, logo se vê. Let's see. Where are they? Ah, there's one.
Está a ferver.
There is one.
Chega para mim.
And the other one must be right here, so I'm going to try and find it. It's like an egg hunt, but in a bowl. I think it's right here, yeah. I was right. Oh my God. I need this. I need the broth. And a little more of bread. And I think it's okay. Let's see if this is good. Vamos ver se tá bom. This is our fruit that we eat with our meal.
Está a ferver muito.
It's a little bit
Está
hot.
muito quente.
Oh.
Não está?
So, bon appetit and enjoy yourselves. We are going to enjoy our lunch because I think it's awesome, and see you next time. Bye.